Welcome to another Founder Chess episode. We have challenger today, John Kuhn. John is the CTO and co-founder at Integral. Uh, cool guy altogether. So Integral, John, you'll say it better than me, but as I can read on the website, it's healthcare's unified data operation layer. So basically clean their info, and if data is moat, then it's something quite useful, right? So quick intro about yourself, John, and let's start playing.
Yeah, sounds great. And thanks for having me, Charles. I would say that you did a pretty good job. Integral can be thought of as just a platform for anonymizing healthcare data or other sensitive data that's behind some sort of like compliance framework. As far as background goes, I went to school for computer science and worked at Salesforce, and then decided that startups were more my speed. And so joined an early stage startup in the Bay Area for 3 years before working on Integral full time. We've been at it for 4 years. We're scaled up and working with 2 of the top 5 pharma. And so super proud of what we built so far, but we've got a long way to go. And so, but I'm excited to play some chess and chat some more.
Yeah, accept my challenge, so we can start the ass whooping. Oh, you're white now.
Oh wait, did you want to be white?
No. I actually play better as the underdog. Yeah, that's my first question. Like, what's have you been an underdog like most of your life? Is that like one of your strategy to perform better?
It's interesting. I would say that I definitely am one of those founders with a chip on my shoulder. I don't think that I've always gotten the respect that I deserve. I didn't get into the college that I wanted to, and I didn't go to an Ivy League. I didn't always have like the fanciest credentials. And so, yeah, I have a lot to prove. I have like a deep intrinsic motivation to let the world know that I'm a smart individual and can make changes in the economy. And so.
Nice. And you're CTO, you're a technical guy. Like, what's your personality? Are you more introverted? Why have you? Last time we spoke, you told me you started coding young, right? Like, why were you attracted to that?
Yeah. So I am the technical side of the house. That's completely correct. And the first version of the product I built by myself before we made our first hire, which was really intriguing for our pre-seed leads. And so the reason I got into coding probably originates with my interest in computers overall. And so I had a neighbor growing up, and we were really good friends, and we would make videos, just like fun, silly videos, kind of like SNL skits, and we would edit them on the computer. And so I got really into computers just through video editing. And then I suppose in high school, I started hearing more and more about coding. And so I took the AP computer science course that my high school offered. I'm not trying to sound like my education wasn't very good, but within 2 months, I knew more than the teacher. And so I quickly hit like that upper bound. And then it wasn't really until college that I got to spend time with people that were sort of like intellectually my peers. Also during this time in high school, I competed competitively for programming. And so I did Java competitions, and I won the state of Indiana for like what's called BPA coding, which Business Professionals of America. It's kind of like DECA. They do a bunch of different competitions. And so, yeah, I don't know. After that, I felt like very confident that I was on the right path. And so went to school for computer science, like I mentioned. Another thing about my personality is that I'm very obsessed with Steve Jobs. Like that guy is my idol. And so I don't know, startups just feel very natural. So
interesting. And what other games do you play? Did you play video games nowadays? Like, what is the most intellectually fulfilling activity you do? I'm probably video games, not that, but yeah, wherever you want to take that question.
Yeah, so I used to be super into. Oh yeah, we're not going to trade queens, huh?
Nope.
Should we do it?
I'm just gonna I would say you with my C guy, whatever we call this.
So I think that for me, so I used to play video games a ton. Thank you. I used to play video games a ton as a kid, and then I don't know what happened. I just kind of outgrew it. Nowadays, I feel like the most intellectually stimulating things is just language learning. I love learning languages, and so I speak Spanish. I studied abroad in Sweden for a little bit, and so I speak lite svenska, and then I'm also learning Mandarin right now.
Whoa,
And so,
Mandarin.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
the
super hard.
neuroplasticity is big, right? With language, I'm having a daughter soon, and probably the argument to teach her French, although French is complicated. And yeah, I grew up in Quebec, so it's like I want to stay away from my homeland, sort of as a nomad type of guy. But yeah, do you? I mean, Mandarin. I stayed in Hong Kong for what 2-3 months of my life, and I failed all classes. It's so complicated. How's it going so far? I mean, with AI it could be better, right? Like yeah.
Yeah, we should. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things I'm actually very passionate about is just like AI helping advance education. And so I took, like most people in the United States, I took high school Spanish. And after years of that course, I feel like I didn't learn anything. And and then I actually, during one of my internships in college, lived in Chicago for a summer. And there was a language exchange for people that were new to the United States, usually from countries like in Central America, like Guatemala. And you would just show up and drink some Modelo's and speak to them in English half the time and in Spanish half the time. And just doing that every Monday night for like a few weeks, like I became super, super fluent really quickly. And so it was kind of this like flash moment, like this aha, where it felt like the efficiency of education via this like very structured
Oh,
sort
bro,
of
you're
like
stuck now. Oh, almost stuck.
almost yeah
Got
this like
excited
very
quick.
yeah, I'm telling stories and I'm like not paying attention anymore. This is part of the vibe, I guess.
Yeah,
What was I gonna say? So the let's go
dude,
here.
the hack, you said the hack with your language, it's
Ah,
the
damn it.
Modelos.
Yeah, exactly. That
The
does
Modelos definitely help with like being less stressed about failing, right? Like that's a good thing, if there's any good thing about alcohol, because generally it's like a net loss all over the place.
definitely. There's something about speaking in a second language where if you're a little inebriated, you are less likely to make or less worried about making mistakes, and so that makes you like
Yeah.
better at speaking. But I would say I was very frustrated just like in the idea of like how inefficient my language learning courses in high school were, and like if that were true also for math or science or anything else, it's very frustrating. And so yeah, AI tools help me. So it's kind of
Oh
embarrassing, but
shit, dude, you're in
yeah, I'm
trouble
getting
now.
roasted. Yeah, I have nothing. So this is probably where I would resign. So what was I trying to say?
Straight up
The,
resign.
I mean, you're up like
Yeah, no,
10,
you
10
can't
points.
do. But wait, you could have done something. Look at my timer, 59 seconds. You could have done something.
Maybe.
Hey,
I don't know.
does the new challenge work?
Oh yeah. We can do that. Do a
Or
rematch.
you,
Let's see. Okay,
okay,
cool. I'm
there we
black
go.
now.
And what do you like talking about neuroplasticity, right? Like you told me you worked out a little bit. What kind of books do you read? How do you interact with AI to get smarter and better at business and life?
Yeah. So I would say that for the last, I don't know, 10, 12 years, I've just been doing a ton of reading. All of it's nonfiction, so it's a little boring. And I'm just now kind of getting to the point where I'm trying to read more science fiction because there's a lot of like
Yeah.
AI-based science fiction. Anyways, neither here nor there. And this is actually like an interesting thing. This is kind of reminding me of the dynamic of hot ones, like the hot like chicken wings. You're getting
Yes.
the
Isn't
interviewer
like
off
spicy ones? Yeah.
or spicy
Hot
ones, something
ones
like that.
sounds
Yeah.
like porn.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe provocative titles are important.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
Yeah,
read a lot of
dude, you spoke about that last day, and I listened to a couple. They're so good, but they're not that intellectually stimulating. It's mostly like
no.
entertainment.
Yeah, 100%. It's more pop culture. To answer your question, yeah, I read a lot of nonfiction. A lot of it's business books, and so like high output management and like the 0 to 1, which is a great book that I just try to read once a year.
Yeah, PTO is timeless knowledge.
Yeah, of course, right. And but then as far as like interacting with AI, when it comes to language learning, so the voice models are actually really, really good for practicing Spanish or Chinese. And so I use Grok's companions, and I just talk to her, and I say like, hey, I want to practice Spanish. Let's have a conversation, and yeah, we just chat in Spanish for a while, and that's really helpful. Mandarin, I'm not quite to the point of fluency to where I can have like a good conversation, and so I'm still just like drilling a bunch of vocab words right now. What do I want to do?
That's pretty good, actually.
But it's crazy. Yeah, I mean, if you're willing to stay focused, AI can help you a ton. And I'm trying to learn a little bit more about drug discovery. And I never took organic chemistry in college. And so it's like very difficult, but I'm just asking
why drug discovery? Do you want to launch a potentially new venture around that, or just for fun?
For fun, but I also think that that was a bad move. But there's a
thanks for the reaction, because you're giving me the play. I might have not even seen it, by the way.
Yeah, that's true. I tipped my hand. Yeah.
Thanks for giving me the carte blanche here.
No, I think so I kind of have a hot take, which is that I believe that Isomorphic has a higher market upside than ChatGPT or OpenAI. I mean,
what's it's like these the brain like chips is Isomorphic?
No, that's Neuralink. So Isomorphic is a company that's
the structure, right? Like the structure of the chip, it acts more like a brain. I know what Neuralink is, but anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not sure. At least in the case of Isomorphic, it spun out of DeepMind. There were a couple of the early founders that got Nobel Prizes for it. But the idea is that you can have an AI that can do sort of like computational drug discovery insights. And so protein folding is the biggest one, right? And so AlphaFold was this big breakthrough where you can get a bunch of these amino acid chains and be able to predict what the folds will look like, which apparently is actually the hard part. And so instead of like laboriously going through trial and error, saying like which drug combinations might work, you can have the computer fold it for you and then try those. And so it's sort of like the number of experiments you need to run are much fewer, and they're higher potential. And so Isomorphic actually has as their motto for the company, they're trying to cure all disease, which is just like an amazing motto if you're recruiting engineers.
Which is alarming if you're like in a compliance department, but is acceptable and claim in the valley, right?
Totally.
Is Sam Altman behind that one? Who's behind that one?
No, that one's Google DeepMind. And so I'm not sure if they're technically still a subsidiary of Google or what the organizational apparatus is. But I believe that they have a higher upside than OpenAI, because when it comes, great. You really.
Chess is interesting because you make one mistake. Isn't it like tennis, in which like your mind is like all fucked up after you make a mistake, and then you're like shit, and then you start like cortisol starts influencing your next move.
Yeah, you're probably right. It's compounding mistakes. Like that one.
Like that one, yeah.
Yeah,
but you can just eat my little guy.
That's true.
That's the only
you were defending it with your queen, yeah. I think if you had played G4 with your queen, then it would have been over.
Maybe.
So what was I saying? But I think that there's a higher potential upside for Isomorphic, because some of these rare and orphan diseases, you can legitimately charge any amount of money and payers will pay for it. And so if you can actually solve all disease and have like a computational, if you can have a computational algorithm to actually help drug discovery, I mean, just think about like all the different, even like GLP-1s, which are not like necessarily solving diseases.
Dude, you can make something good there. You could have made something even better. You just move your tower, and you would have checked me, and then you would have got my queen. Because you move your tower right in front of my queen.
I see. Yeah, like rook c2.
But it's gone.
Strong move.
No, it's gone. Yeah. And you're in trouble.
I mean, I still like
now you're in real big. You're in fat trouble right now.
Yeah, you're ladder mate right now. Jeez.
Unless I fuck up something real bad, which is still possible. I mean, never know. Check.
Brutal. What do I want to do?
Yeah, no. Just waiting for the kill. Basically, you move
I
on a
know.
white, and I check you with like my. I could still be in danger if I mess up something, but you know what? I'm gonna play it safe.
I think you have a forced mate in like 5 moves if you push me to the side of the board. Yeah,
Well,
it's not looking good for me.
do you feel AlphaFold was a bigger moment than ChatGPT in your world?
Uh, oh, we'll see. We'll see. So there's still like a lot of open questions about if knowing the protein fold is enough. You also need to know the target and mechanism of action, right? And like, can you simulate a full wet lab? A lot of people are skeptical about this. But if you assume that 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 you can get to this point where you have like computational biology that can support like curing all disease, then I believe that upper bound is potentially higher than like ASI, which is what GPT is going for. So
how's that even a claim? How would you back a claim such as curing all disease?
it's hard. It's sort of like if you imagine that there is like this unknown essence of like how our bodies work and how things get metabolized in pharmacokinetics and all these things, and that there's like this insight that you can have because we just haven't had enough computation, right? If you remember the days of like traditional ML before ChatGPT and OpenAI, like we had
The
LSTMs and
dark ones.
we had recurrent neural networks, we had all these things, and the loss function was pretty flat. Like we thought we had like an asymptotic like upper bound, and then like the only organization that was like even post transformers, we still had this like asymptotic upper bound, and OpenAI was the only one that was like, hey, we're not going to change the algorithm. We're just going to spend like $1 billion and just see if it changes, right? And like there could be a corollary with drug discovery too, where it's like if the computer just has enough compute and enough signal, then could it like infer some things that are maybe like these long chain of dependencies that are like non-linear, nonlinear, oh man, sort of like chain of events that lead to some sort of like insight about how our bodies actually work fundamentally. There's a lot of epigenetic research happening right now that are getting people really excited. And so there was like the first clinical trials are starting to happen for like anti-aging therapies, because you can sort of like change not the genetic structure, but the epigenetic structure of cells. And so people are getting really excited about that. And so I don't know, I feel like we're on the very early days of really, really exciting things when it comes to computational biology, drug discovery, and I don't know, I think AI is going to help play a huge part in all of these insights.
Do you think you could get Sam Altman big one day? Like, do you think like anyone can actually reach these levels as a guy that has a chip on his shoulder? I have that as well for sure, and I do believe in myself. I do think it's gonna take me a bit longer. Like we can't play the same playbooks, and also speak as per why Steve Jobs is your model, because Steve is still very admirable, right? But obviously Steve has his flaws as well.
Totally. I think every great man has a lot of flaws. You know, Steve Jobs was a terrible father. Like he abandoned his daughter Lisa for years, like total dickhead. There's stories about his time at Pixar, and he would just like berate people. And he was kind of sharky too. Like during the Pixar time, he picked up an enormous amount of Pixar equity while he was bankrolling them before Toy Story. Let's see. But as far as answering your question on like, well, why I like him, and then like, can I ever be like a Sam Altman? So let's see. I think Steve Jobs was somebody who sort of like had good taste and wasn't afraid to put his neck out to sort of like push on that thing, right? And so obviously, or not every, obviously, one of the most famous stories that everybody points to is this time when they were developing the Lisa machine that would ultimately become Macintosh later. And he was just extremely adamant about like this word processor needing to have certain font faces, because he was really into calligraphy, and he just thought it was really important for this like human computer interaction to be this beautiful experience, and it can't just be like a Microsoft word processor. And so many people fought him on this point, and he had to fire senior engineers that weren't like on board with the mission. And to any like normal person, that's like behaving extremely erratically. But this was somebody who like could see the future and like take the risk associated with putting his foot down. And so like I find that very admirable. And at times like that sort of what do you want to say, like focus on something that might not seem that important backfired. I mean, there's plenty of products at Apple that just like completely failed. Like they tried to launch this like early version of Mac Mini in the 90s that just was a complete flop. And so that's why he's admirable to me. I think on the Sam Altman question, I do believe that like at some point,
I think you have me.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's fucking go.
Oh man,
yeah,
that's gonna
job.
help my elo.
Hey, last one before we go. Yeah, what's your take on Anthropic and the OpenAI coming in, like stealing the contract? I mean, it's not stealing, right? But taking the contract of Department of Defense. Spicy ones.
Yeah, that is a spicy one. I'm trying to accept your challenge here.
No, it's like I quit because we're like 2 minutes away from being, and I want you to finish with a victory. It's glorious.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, really quickly. So my take on this is like, it's a really sad day. Like there are plenty of positive things I can say about the administration and plenty of negatives, but this is like clearly a negative. My feeling is that we are China all of a sudden, where like we can't have private organizations operate independently. I'm a huge believer in free markets. Like it's the most important thing. It's the North Star. I believe that like a startup with very highly intelligent, motivated individual is going to affect way more change for the world than some sort of not-for-profit GMO, whatever. And so to hear that like our state agency, the Department of War, I guess, more specifically, is just coming down on a private company and just like killing them, designating them as a supply chain risk is kind of just like a nail in the coffin. I don't know what's going to happen. Also, is their subsidiaries, like is Bun, we use Bun for our like package manager for one of our web applications. Is that a supply chain risk too? Like this whole thing is just completely asinine to me. And like, I don't know what's going to come, but it's not good. And the precedent is really, really bad.
Oh yeah, fully agree with that. I had the Russian founder immigrant on my podcast yesterday, and he was even she was like, we don't see this in Russia. It's like, man, it's pretty dire. I hope they really fix that situation because, it's the Trump playbook, like go full offense and really like be cutthroat. I don't think legally they can do it as well. That's what I read, right? Like, I don't think legally they can do it. So, and yeah, although I'm not a fan of Dario that much, Dario's like not clean-handed too. Well, no one is, like you said, right? All great men have flaws. I definitely think he played his cards right. Sam Altman tried to quote unquote rescue the thing because he has sour grapes also with Dario leaving, started his own shit and dissing him in his ads. But yeah, Sam Altman definitely, I think it's a bad PR move for sure, right? I think he's going to lose way more than, I think that narrative is right that he stole it and so forth. And Sam is like still my favorite founder, but yeah, what do you think on that?
Yeah, I don't know. I think part of this is maybe also just like Silicon Valley right now is losing the war of like public opinion. And we have these like super brilliant, like billionaire people that are not very charismatic, right? And so even Sam Altman, I would say, is not the most charismatic guy. And that's hurting AI right now. And we have data centers that aren't getting built. Like China's going to run all over us. Did you hear about this like upstate New York data center? They've already spent like 2 years going through like an environmental review for this thing, which is bananas
I heard it
in the first place.
Oh my
and then
God.
six people have brought a lawsuit against the build out because I don't know, they think it might cause like issues for where they're living. And we've just like stopped this multi-billion-dollar project. And so, but yeah, I think we're losing the war of like public opinion right now. And part of that is just like, we don't have like a charismatic tech leader. And Dario is even like more extreme than Sam in terms of like not being very charismatic. So we need like a Steve Jobs. We need a Alex Karp, maybe not Alex Karp, but like somebody else in this arena.
I like Alex Karp.
I love him.
But yeah, I think like it's the name of the game, right? Like Alex Karp, they're too contrarian and too heavy for the spotlight. Same thing for Teal. Like Teal doesn't want to be on the spotlight because his opinions would shock the masses, right? Like
Totally.
Which is why politics is super hard. You always need to appeal to the masses. But hey, John, it was nice having you on the pod. Let's do round two, just podcast, no chest. I'm glad
Sure.
that you could whoop my ass on the last one. So
yeah,
hey, where can people find out more about you and your company?
Yeah, you can find me on LinkedIn or X. My X handle is my name +58. And then, yeah, just go to useintegral.com, hit the chat now button, and you'll get connected with one of our talented senior AEs. And yeah, would happy to continue the conversation there. But yeah, thank you, Charles, for having me on. I really had a good time.
Pleasure. That was John and Charles.